It wouldn't be a Chiefs offseason without some crazy breaking news happening at all hours of the night. It is almost 2 o'clock in the morning on this Friday night, I guess Saturday morning by the time that you guys are seeing this video, and I just saw an article pop up on my timeline from Pro Football Talk which references Rashee Rice and some new news that we just got involving the legal matter. A new lawsuit has been named in this case from March of last year. And so in this video, I'm going to go ahead and react to that, give my thoughts on the situation. And the old saying goes that nothing good ever happens after midnight. Well, guess what? We're going to react to this news late into the hours of Saturday morning and give my thoughts and reactions to it. But if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Michael Darcy, and you are watching the KC Sports Report. Do me a big time favor and hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to this channel. We are trying to hit 13,000 subscribers before the Chiefs season starts, and we are definitely capable of hitting that goal, so definitely hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the breaking news. This is a clip from a Pro Football Talk article. In fact, I'll go ahead and just scroll up and so you can see it. Rashee Rice faces another lawsuit arising from March 2024 street racing crash. Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice continues to face criminal and civil proceedings in the aftermath of a March 2024 street racing crash in Dallas. A third lawsuit has now been filed against him. Via Fox 4, Kayla Quinn alleges that she and her son sustained physical and mental injuries when the car was struck during the race involving Rice. They sued both Rice and former SMU football player Theodore Knox. Quinn and her son seek between $250,000 and $1 million in damages. Two other lawsuits were filed against Rice and Knox in April of 2024. They separately have been charged with multiple crimes. The prosecution is pending. The league does not plan to take action against Rice until the criminal case has ended. Originally, Rice had hoped to have a strong second season to resolve the prosecution during the 2025 season and accept a suspension this season. His knee injury, coupled with a slow pace of the prosecution, has altered that strategy. Rice has no real defense to either the criminal allegations or the civil lawsuits. The incident is on video. He and Knox were racing. They struck other cars while doing so. And so that is the end of the article. Again, it is incredibly late, and you could just see this right here. Mike Florio, the guy that we all know and love, published this article at 11:12 p.m. on a Friday night. Talk about a guy that just is not afraid to just ruin other people's weekend. Talk about a guy that will just work at all hours of the night and get this news out regardless. Listen, this is going to kind of be a little incoherent because it is so late at night, and I'm just giving my raw thoughts and reactions to this. This isn't really much to be worried about, and I'm not trying to, diminish anything that, they've brought against Rashee Rice and Knox because, listen, I think Rashee Rice is going to pay for this incident, and he's already kind of paid for it in terms of the other stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, and I'm sure he's getting very close to settling if he hasn't already. But this isn't really something that we should be super concerned about. I don't think it's going to impact, the suspension that's already coming. Rashee Rice is going to serve a suspension in 2025. Unfortunately, that incident that happened last year, oh my gosh, it's already a calendar year ago. He is going to serve a suspension for that, and he probably should. Now, should it be a 4-game suspension, a 6-game suspension? I saw someone throw out an 8-game suspension. Now, I don't think Rashee Rice is going to get suspended for 8 games, but I do think that a 4 to 6-game suspension for violating, the NFL conduct policy is definitely on the table. And this just sucks to see because, just a couple days ago, we were talking about Rashee Rice as a, main contributor to break out in 2025. In fact, Patrick Mahomes thinks he can be, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And he said that, that knee injury is something that hopefully, no pun intended, is in the rearview mirror. That's something that we should not have to, worry about long-term for Rice. So I do think that it is going to be, interesting to see how this plays out. I do expect Rashee Rice to be suspended, but I don't think that this third lawsuit that gets piled on top of it is necessarily going to, add any games to the suspension or make a difference in him getting suspended or not. Like, we all pretty much are under the assumption that Rashee Rice is going to be suspended by the NFL. They're just waiting for the legal proceedings to, conclude. But I'll tell you what, if another case pops up, another, whether it's a civil or criminal case, that's just going to keep prolonging justice. And it might mean that Rashee Rice gets to the point where he plays a game in the season. Like, that's kind of what happened last year, is Rashee Rice had all this stuff going on. The criminal proceedings were still going, through court, and he kind of just played. And so I don't think he's going to be as lucky this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting to play a couple games because, the proceedings just haven't been finalized yet. Like, I think that is a strong possibility. And unless the NFL steps in and kind of changes their course of action, which they have not done, they have waited for the legal proceedings to conclude with a lot of other suspensions around the league. Unless they break that, unless they kind of, just decide that Rashee Rice needs to be punished and he needs to be punished right now, I do think that we're probably going to see Rashee Rice, play a game or two before he gets suspended, or we're going to find out, I guess, very close to the start of the season, how many games he's actually going to miss. I do want to talk more about this Rashee Rice situation, and we're going to do that right after a word from our fantastic sponsors who you should absolutely use in the context of this video. This video is sponsored by my friends over at DM Injury Law. Have you been injured in an accident? You may be entitled to significant compensation, but you gotta act quick. Trust the skilled personal injury lawyers at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's leading injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury firm backed by a large support staff of investigators, case managers, medical records specialists, and more. With over $600 million recovered for thousands of clients, DM Law isn't afraid to take your case all the way to trial. The best part, you don't pay unless they win. DM Law works on a contingency fee basis, meaning that you do not pay a single thing unless they win your case. Plus, they offer free consultations. If you've been injured, don't wait. You can call DM Law today for a free consultation and find out how they can help you get the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on recovery. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. With offices in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado, DM Law is here to serve you. You can call them or visit them online today to schedule your free consultation. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thank you to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. The Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway is the place to be. With over 1,500 slot machines, 35 table games, 4 restaurants, and a new ESPN Bet sportsbook, there are plenty of ways to find your fun. For more chances to win, follow them on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Huge shout out to DM Injury Law and the Hollywood Casino for sponsoring this channel and supporting me all off season long. But getting back into the main portion of this video, again, just to clarify, Rashee Rice is involved in another lawsuit that just popped up after the March 2024 incident. This is the third lawsuit, and while I do think that this is something that you can't just brush off, they're suing him for some physical and emotional damages, and you can't take that lightly, but at the same time, this is something that I don't think is going to, end up impacting too much of the play on the field. Again, when at this point, it's almost just piling on with all the other stuff that's going on. And so I do think it kind of sucks to see this happen right now, because it's almost like, okay, now the NFL has another reason to look into this and give him maybe another game or two. But I do think that for most of the, I guess, legal purposes involved, and this is all, from my opinion, I don't know what's going on, but I don't think that Rashee Rice is going to end up suffering too much because this third lawsuit ended up getting piled on, the rest of them. But I do want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. What do you think of this news? Hopefully you guys got some great sleep and then woke up to it. I actually just organically saw it come across my Twitter timeline late on this Friday night. I guess Saturday by the time that you guys are seeing this. But I thought to myself, you know what? I just have got to talk about this because, with Rashee Rice being poised for a huge 2025 season, this is not great. This definitely is something that, you hope would be in the rearview mirror, but this is something that he's going to probably have to deal with, until we find out his suspension. And so hopefully that ends up being, anywhere from 4 to 6 games. Hopefully he doesn't get suspended, but I just don't think, the NFL is going to let him get away with this. And so I do think that he's going to have to pay for his crimes, but he's also been someone that, he's, from what I've seen, he's done his best to, put his best foot forward and try to reconcile some of his mistakes with the organization and also with the victims of this, incident that happened last year. So that's all I have for this video. Again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. The breaking news that Rashee Rice is involved in another lawsuit following the March 2024, street racing incident in Dallas. This happened over a year ago and we're still talking about it, but it's not as bad as the stadium issue that's going on right now. So that's an issue that's been going on for many years, and it probably will continue to go on for many years. If Arrowhead's going to move or what's going to happen with that, that's a topic for another video. I appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel for more daily Chiefs coverage. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video, and as always, go Chiefs.